Good afternoon, folks. I'm Bland Simpson, and I'm coming to you from Beaufort, North Carolina, Beaufort by the sea. And I'll be reading from the opening of my wife Ann's and my latest UNC Press book, published in the fall of 2024, Clover Garden, a Carolinian's Piedmont memoir. Clover Garden. Clover Garden is a small 4-square-mile country community in the old Porter tract of the lower Old Fields, lying beside the Haw River just a few miles west of Chapel Hill and Carrboro, North Carolina. Patches of contoured red clay furrows in southwest Orange County in the state's foothills, growing corn and soybeans and hay and winter wheat, though once also cotton and tobacco, alongside dairy cows, beeves, and horses in pastures meeting deep forests of white oaks and red oaks and pines, copses of them around country churches, and straight-up tulip poplars and high-crowned hickories, American beech, and always sweet gum, muscadine vines everywhere, willows close to the waterlines of ponds where big blue herons stalk and hunt, ponds full of bass and brim, shellcrackers and pumpkin seed, and catfish prowling the bottoms, and dogwood and redbud fringing the woods with white and a pinkish lavender in early spring. All the waters of these lands draining away, often just after the rains have revealed Indian points and potsherds in our gardens, ironic, unintended gifts of the natives, the first peoples, into the dendritic headwaters of the Cape Fear River, and after flowing 200 miles, out past Oak Island and Bald Head to Frying Pan Shoals, where Long Bay and Onslow Bay meet and form the Atlantic Ocean. Barred owls cry out in the dimming evenings, as heartily as hawks and crows do in the day. Canada geese go honking by, wood ducks and doves noisily winging over the fields too, blue herons flying singly or even in formations of 4, bound from Cane Creek to some farm pond and back again. The milk cows here are mostly black and white Holstein Friesians, a German breed which our children call two-tones, and sometimes Ayrshires and doe-eyed Jerseys. As dairies, which succeeded the small cotton and tobacco farms run by blacks and whites alike, those farmers having long since moved on, as dairies have closed over time, vines climbing their silos, beef cattle have moved into many a field. Angus, Hereford, Limousin, Charolais, and lately, even a rescue herd of Brahman cattle have come to live out their days in the heart of this community. There is no poverty in our nomenclature, for in Clover Garden we are living in the Indians' old fields, the old fields realm, already agrarian and bountiful when John Lawson saw it in 1701. And the native Sissipahaw who farmed and fished here gave their name to the Haw River, running just to our south. The Morrows, early 18th century grantees, gave their name to the nearby grinding mill on Cane Creek. The Lloyds gave theirs to the small settlement of Lloydtown on a broad flat just north of the mill. And Clover, the sweet legume that feeds much of the world, gave its name to this garden spot and to a small chapel and to a post office at the crest of a rise with a long view off and away to the south. A post office opened here under President Thomas Jefferson and closed by the Civil War. No one darkening its door or collecting or mailing a letter there in 160 years now, were there even any longer a post office door to darken. And so, even yet, its name endures. Clover Garden, the chapel, the road, the communion of souls. To be a citizen of Clover Garden here in the old fields, to be a part of its membership, has been and remains a great wonder in my life. And what follows are stories from within that wonder, some of them at least as I have seen them go down and heard them told, of hounds belling in the night, of turkeys slowly crossing our little field, and of a family of golden skunks drifting as one down the slope of our woods, of cattle out of their fencing and parading up the road at midnight, of hay setting itself on fire in a barn, of bonfires climbing high into the New Year's nights, of young men and old stepping and slipping over creek bed stones at Eastertide in search of suckerfish, of women young and old turning and shaping pots on wheels in the deep woods, or quilting old patterns or designs out of their own minds, and of men and women treading the forested lanes together in all seasons, scouting, as one old man called it, seeking and finding the simple pleasures of being out as dusky dark settles over the land, all out in the gloaming to see, through the years, what is moving and what is not. Those whom we know and have known in this countryside have found many a blessing here, watching standing deer and deer watching them right back, have counted those blessings, and then quitting their counts only when the numbers just got too high, and those blessings, having found us, then dispersed, floating up into the crowns of tulip poplars and loblollies and beyond, into the clouds that course over us from west and southwest, and on above them into the bright and timeless evening stars, and the planets Venus and Jupiter and Saturn and Mars, and the mythic shapes that are real beings to us, Orion and Scorpio, and the Big and Little Dippers, and every other creation in the true wild blue yonder, from a distance so endless and divine we shall never know it, rolling across our skies every single night in the endless scroll of years. Good day, good night, and good fortune to you all.